Today, a 93-year-old man with dementia who hadn't been seen for hours has turned up quite some distance from his home.
Plus, we are getting a look at new security shots of how Paul Bunyan's arm was broken in Bemidji.
Also coming up, family and friends help each other shoulder the pain of a sudden and tragic loss. But first, the suspect in that Moorhead murder is in jail this morning, and police believe he's also responsible for 2 armed robberies in Fargo, all over the course of about 3 hours. 18-year-old Willie Sparkman of Fargo was arrested last night for the death of a taxi driver whose body was found early yesterday in South Moorhead. Sparkman was booked into the Cass County Jail on robbery charges.
Fargo police suspect him of an attempted robbery yesterday around midnight in the 3100 block of 27th Street South in Fargo, and another robbery in the 1900 block of 21st Avenue South. Now, in that first incident, police say a woman reported being threatened by a man with a weapon who demanded her property. She screamed, he ran off. Then around 3 a.m., someone else reported being robbed by a guy who matched the description of the first suspect. No, luckily, neither of those victims were hurt. Then Moorhead police got a call about a half hour later about a suspicious activity in the 3000 block of 20th Street South.
They found the body of 24-year-old Abdullahi. He's from Moorhead. He was inside that taxi van. It had crashed near some railroad tracks. Police say he was shot during a planned robbery by someone he did not know. Moorhead police are forwarding a complaint to the Clay County Attorney's Office for charges of second-degree murder while committing a felony and first-degree aggravated robbery.
Family members, they're remembering the man who was killed as someone who inspired his siblings. He had many of them, 5 sisters, 4 brothers. They say he was a role model, but always involved in their lives.
He was a happy person. He always made sure that he made everybody else laugh around him, always made sure everybody was comfortable, was straight. He would always motivate me to be better and to reach better things in life and not to just give up when things get hard.
Abdullahi's family says he had become a taxi driver just 6 weeks ago as a way to start saving money to go to school. The GoFundMe page has been set up by his family. We have a link to that on our webpage, valleynewslive.com. Just click on this story. Now, other taxi drivers in the FM area are concerned about their safety after hearing of this murder.
Many are filled with emotion after hearing about that possible robbery gone wrong, and now has many taxi workers saying they don't feel safe on the job.
I don't feel like to driving, because I have 2 daughters and one of my new baby is coming by November, and I feel kind of scary.
In Minnesota, there is no law against drivers carrying a weapon, but a person does have to have a license to carry. Some taxi companies, however, they do not allow their drivers to carry guns. We have new information right now on a story that we have been following all morning. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension now says a missing 93-year-old man with dementia has been found in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. That's near Green Bay. It's about 3.5 hours away from Elk River, Minnesota, where he was last seen.
Roberto Salvavero of Big Lake was missing since noon yesterday, and police say his direction of travel wasn't known. The BCA is not releasing any other details. A debate over car emissions in Minnesota could impact your summer plans, with state parks stuck in the middle. Governor Tim Walz directed the State Pollution Control Agency to draft a plan to cut gas emissions. But some GOP lawmakers say certain provisions could drive up costs for all vehicles.
That's a sticking point that could stall the state's budget. And if there's no agreement by the end of the session, the DNR would be without an operating budget come July 1st, and that could force park closures days before the most popular camping holiday of the year.
Let's get a check now of our Thursday morning forecast with meteorologist Lisa Green.
Good morning. It's looking nice and bright for many of us in the Valley, Fargo, and in Grand Forks. On our Home of Economy sky cam there, you can see that bright sunshine and blue sky. It feels a little chilly, though, when you step outside. Yet again this morning, we are below freezing in a lot of places. Fargo at 29 degrees. Grand Forks checking in at 27. Grand Forks, yet again this morning, one of the cooler spots. And Thief River Falls is at 27 as well. Bemidji 31. Fergus Falls hanging on to 34. We've had some fog there. And in Devil's Lake, we're checking in at 37 degrees. Speaking of fog, this is our view along I-94 near the Rothsay exit. You can see that in the distance, it's hard to see because of that fog that's bringing down our visibility in that area. Fergus Falls checking in with visibility less than a mile at 3/4 of a mile there. And then Valley City at 0 right now. And there are some foggy places in and around Barnes and Stutzman County too. So again, keep that in mind as you're getting ready to hit the road in the Southern Valley. The wind is very light, so clear skies, calm air can often be a recipe for some of this patchy fog. So the wind is light now, but that is changing. We've been talking about that wind picking up with the cold front moving through this afternoon, and we do have a red flag warning that takes effect at lunch hour and then continues on until 8 o'clock tonight because those strong winds, dry air, that combination could lead to the rapid spread of fires. So avoid burning today. And looking at your radar right now, it's pretty quiet in the valley, but looking to the northwest, that's where our front is coming from. You can see some precipitation there. It's going to be running into that drier air. And so as that front moves in and the precipitation does too, there may be some instances of sprinkles, but a lot of this may not reach the ground, just some cloud cover essentially. So here's a look at our bus stop planner this morning, starting off chilly. As we head through the morning hours, the sun will do its work to warm us up, even around 8 o'clock, getting back into the 30s. And heading into your afternoon, warming back into the upper 50s to low 60s with that northwesterly wind picking up. We could see some gusts into the 40s by this afternoon and evening. So becoming a windy day, a little more on the cloudy side as that front moves through, and some sprinkles by Friday. By tomorrow, it quiets down quite a bit. We get some sunshine and looking to stay dry for most of us heading into Mother's Day weekend as well.
Looking forward to that sunshine tomorrow, though. Looking like a pretty nice Friday considering what we've been through, at least. Lisa, thank you this morning. We are just a few hours away now from hearing details on that timeline for ending all COVID restrictions in Minnesota. Governor Tim Walz says that he is making the announcement at noon today, and he will be doubling down on the state's vaccination push.
The governor has hinted that Minnesotans should start assuming that they're going to have a normal-looking summer. Job Service North Dakota says unemployment rates are headed back toward pre-pandemic levels, but staff shortages are still a major problem. During any given week, the Tavern Grill in Fargo serves around 7,000 people.
The challenge for all involved continues to be getting the job done with half the staff, but the lack of employees isn't new. It's dating back to before the pandemic.
But it's definitely been a struggle. It's hard to definitely find people in all sorts of positions that everywhere is hiring for.
Workforce shortage was an issue before the pandemic, and it's still probably going to continue to be even after the pandemic influences are diminishing. We're still going to have that workforce shortage just like we had before, and really it comes down to there's not enough people.
If you or someone you know is looking for work, visit our website for more information on job services here in Fargo-Moorhead.
President Joe Biden is promoting a new relief fund for small businesses. The Restaurant Revitalization Fund launched Monday as part of the American Rescue Plan.
It provides nearly $29 billion in direct relief to restaurants, bars, and other similar businesses. The new program prioritizes restaurants owned by women, veterans, and other socially and economically disadvantaged groups.
In our consumer alert this morning, Peloton is recalling all of its treadmills after multiple injuries, even one death. They say customers should stop using that product right away and then contact Peloton for a full refund.
The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission had previously warned about Peloton's Tread Plus product after a child's death and 70 other injuries involving the treadmills. Peloton is just now voluntarily recalling its Tread Plus and treadmill machines over those safety concerns. Help is on the way to repair the Paul Bunyan statue in Bemidji. We were the first to show you these pictures of Paul's arm in need of repair.
And now the director of the Bemidji Parks and Rec Department says security cameras show the damage was caused by several people climbing and hanging on the arm. You see it in these pictures right here. A construction crew will be on site next week to assess the damage and conduct additional conservation work for Paul and his buddy Babe the Blue Ox.
It's hard to beat cruising in vintage cars on a nice spring day, and tonight's the night in downtown Moorhead.
And that's the first time it's in downtown Moorhead in the Valley. Today's Brian Sherrod. He spoke with the organizers of Cruise Night. He joins us live with more on the fun details. Good morning, Brian.
And good morning, Jordan and Lisa. What I can tell you is right here on Center Avenue in Moorhead, these are where the cars are going to be lined up. They're going to be lined up from the Center Avenue Bridge all the way up into 7th Street. There's going to be between 200 and 250 cars and between 100 and 150 motorcycles. So pretty exciting. Now you can see the vehicles like the ones on your screen from the Vintage Valley Car Show. This event took 2 years of coordination with the City of Moorhead, Moorhead Business Association, and the Moorhead Center Mall. Now, old to new cars from the Volkswagen, Royal Twist, and various other clubs. You also have food trucks, multiple vendors, axe throwing, and events for the kids. As we continue to see vaccinations increase, this event gives us one step closer to normalcy.
To help Fargo and Moorhead together, we are a club. Every one of our clubs try to help out everybody's club. And this is no club. This is just everybody getting together and doing something in Moorhead.
So 4th Street to 7th Street will be closed. Come up way back through the NP Avenue. Now, Moorhead Center Mall and U.S. Bank is providing parking in lots and goes from 5 to 8:30 tonight. It will go every first Thursday until September. And all these full details can be found at valleynewslive.com.
Brian Sherrod reporting live for us this morning. Thank you. The lights are coming back on Broadway. New York's governor is clearing the way for theaters to reopen at 100% capacity on September 14th after a year-and-a-half long shutdown because of the pandemic.
Tickets, they go on sale today. The governor also announced more fans allowed at Yankees and Mets games starting next week.
Let's get our answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. Today's question, 41% of dog owners say this is one of their pet peeves.
The answer, when a stranger pets your dog. I'm sure they're okay with it if you just ask, though. That is
Good point.
customary.
The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on. Join us right now on the Fargo CW.